again, depending on where you go, you may have a wide variety of different health plans. Two of the most common are PPOs and HMOs. You may also have high deductible health plans. You may have, I think there's a different one on your sample packet there. So you may have other options, but for the most part, two of the most popular are PPOs and HMOs. So if you turn to the back of your, I think Laura and Jenny are handing out some basic definitions. So on the back page, I kind of outlined the big difference between PPO and HMOs. So essentially what these two are, they're both managed networks. So they're both networks of healthcare professionals that have made deals behind the scene to structure your options. Okay, so for instance, your PPOs are going to be a network of professionals that you have access to. So you have a big network here, and you can go see a general healthcare person, you can see a specialist, you can see anybody you want within your network, and it's a certain amount that you're paying for it. Okay? If you go outside of your network, because these are all friends, they've all made a deal, they're all in it together, okay? Those that are not privy to that deal and it's outside of your network, you're going to be paying a substantial amount more for access to those healthcare professionals. Does that make sense? In network, you must always want to be in network, if at all possible. In network means much cheaper. Out of network means a hell of a lot more money. Okay? In network, stay in network, start out. So what a PPO is, so if you look there, you're going to pay a little bit more for a PPO in terms of your copays will probably be a little bit more, your premiums are going to be a little bit more, and your deductible will likely be a little bit higher. So what you're paying for is access to a little bit more freedom. Because what an HMO is on the other side, an HMO again is a group of friends they've determined that are in this network. However, at the very center of this network is God. Okay? God being your general health care provider. And everything you do must go through God. Okay? So if you, I don't know, have a runny nose, and you've had a runny nose for a good 9 months because you live in Fort Worth, and you really want to go see an allergist because your buddy loves their allergist and has fixed their runny nose, you cannot just go to your allergist. You will pay a lot of money if you just show up. You must go to your general practitioner first. And if he so determines you need to go see an allergist, he will then refer you to the allergist in that network. Does that make sense? Good, good. So you're going to be paying cheaper copays. If you pay copays, your deductible will likely be a lot lower, and your premium will be a lot lower. Sometimes you may feel a little bit like this in an HMO. Again, I'll do that reference. I'm going to come up with a little more after. So some people find it a little bit constricting because you don't have as much freedom. Okay? But the downside to the PPO is that you're paying a little bit more money. So again, whatever your situation will be very individualized for you. So the decisions that you make will be very individualized for you. Some of you, a PPO is the way to go. Some of you, it's not. Some of you will probably be better fit for an HMO. All right, so those are the big ones. Now, if you see, and I don't think your sample form included it, but with PPOs, a lot of times, that's distracting. PPOs, a lot of times, you'll have the option, do you want a 90-10 plan? Chelsea, do you want a 90-10 or 80-20? 80-20? Why 80-20? Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so you may have the option within the PPO to pick, do you want a 90-10 option, an 80-20 option? Potentially you may have the option of a 70-30. So what that means is that once you meet your deductible, if you're in the 90-10 plan, then your healthcare provider is going to pay 90% of the rest of the cost, and you're going to pay 10. And then 80-20, you'll get what those mean. Okay? So you may have that option, you may not.
So would your deductible lower to 80?
If you do, yes. Yeah.
So you pay 10% of Blue Cross?
Your Blue Cross Blue Shield or whoever your insurance provider is. Yeah.
So which one is better?
It depends. It depends on your situation. So when you have your form, so I'll get to you in just a second. So when you have your form, so the one that's or that was stapled, you see how when you go all the way through, it's going to outline, you know, what you pay if you go to the OBGYN, what you're going to pay if you lose a limb, what you're going to pay if you have to go to hospice. You see all that? It's not this form I'm showing this, but your staple form. So if you are choosing between a PPO, an HMO, or PPO 90-10, PPO 80-20, et cetera, it's going to show you what your different options are, what you're going to pay within each plan. Okay, so depending on your situation, again, 90-20s for some people, or 90-10s for some people, 70-30s for others. So if you know, for instance, if you anticipate not having any medical expenses or not much, then you may do 70-30. It's going to be a little bit cheaper for you. But in the event that something happens, then you're going to have more cost to pay. Is that home? Okay.
You're good.
I'm good?
Yep.
Thanks.
Maybe you were going to talk about this next, but so then for the open access provider, is that so where there wouldn't be a network thing, it would just be you?
Correct. Yeah. So that one is not as common, that, but you may, the open access, yeah. So you will not be constrained as much to a network.